Ever since I was little, my family told me the stories of how our people were treated brutally and cruelly by the Jews. It goes all the way back to this man by the name of the prophet Samuel. The king of Israel at the time was a man by the name of King Saul, and he had captured King Agag and was then ordered to execute King Agag. But he refused to. So then the prophet Samuel got up in front of everyone and killed King Agag. The amount of disgrace and embarrassment my people have gotten from this has been almost unbearable. But now, I am second in charge of the entire Persian Empire, from Ethiopia to India. And now I can get revenge for what the prophet Samuel did to King Agag all those years ago. And Mordecai, he refuses to bow down to me. He's going to regret that decision. But will the king grant my request? Your Highness.
Get up, Haman. What do you want?
There is a group of people in your kingdom who have proven to be very troublesome, Your Majesty. They have their own ways and customs, and they do not follow the king's law. I feel that it would be in the king's best interest to permanently remove these people. In fact, I will pay 10,000 talents of silver out of my own pocket to help fund the project.
Nah, just keep your money. You can make Here, take my ring. Here, you can take my ring. You can seal the law and make it yourself.
The laws of the Medes and Persians were decrees which were stamped by the king's official signet ring. King Xerxes actually made very few of these decrees himself, but he allowed those who he put in power around him to do so. Now, this can work really well if you surround yourself with competent people, but it doesn't appear that King Xerxes did that. The king liked Haman for who knows what reason, and Haman knew how to play his cards, so to speak. Haman knew if he said things a certain way and acted a certain way, he would have the king's ear. The king did allow Haman to make the decrees with his signet ring, and this was how the decree against the Jews was made. This is where we can learn our first lesson from this story. Who we surround ourselves with matters. I mean, has anyone else heard that as many times as I have? You see, if the king had surrounded himself with people who had his best interest in mind, he wouldn't have even lost his first wife to begin with, because one of the wise dudes was actually who convinced the king to get rid of Vashti. And Xerxes listened. You see, the decree against the Jews and his own wife and all the stress and fear it brought could have been avoided if King Xerxes had allowed himself to choose people who had his best interest in mind and vision. So be very careful who you surround yourself with, because they can either make you excel or make you fall.